In this video, we're going to be diving into how you can create multiple streams of revenue so that you can have more stability, especially in the face of turmoil or market shifts or downturns in the economy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you some specific strategies that you can use to identify new streams of revenue right away. So why do we want to have multiple streams of revenue? What's the point? Well, besides the obvious that it generates more income, which all of us want, it's also a technique for us to diversify. And diversification is a strategy to mitigate risk. What it means is that if we have all our eggs in one basket and we're only focusing on one revenue stream or maybe two revenue streams, what can happen is if something happens to one of those revenue streams, or if that target audience, something shifts there, or if the market crashes in that one area, we can crash right along with it. So the concept behind diversification of creating multiple streams of revenue is to put our eggs in different baskets. Now, the challenge with doing that, as you can start to imagine right away, is that it can be confusing and we can take our eye off the ball and we can get unfocused if we're doing a whole bunch of different stuff. Another reason to have multiple streams of revenue is to expand and to grow. See, a lot of times we can, like I said earlier, put all our eggs in one basket, but it sometimes makes sense to expand into new markets or offer new opportunities or new offers to the same market. So this is a way to expand the business without losing focus. And so the key to doing all of this effectively is to do it strategically. So that's what I'm going to share with you over here on my whiteboard. I'm going to draw what I use because we're talking about revenue streams. Let's use an umbrella to visualize that. Okay, so here's my revenue stream umbrella. Now, this is a concept actually that I picked up from a coach of mine named Jane Atkinson. She wrote the book, The Wealthy Speaker 2.0, and she uses this concept of the revenue stream umbrella. Now, I'm going to use it a little bit differently, but I wanted to acknowledge the genius who created this concept. So think of these as the revenue streams that come off of your umbrella. Now, the umbrella is your core business. And this is really important. When we're designing new revenue streams, we want to understand and make sure that we're clear about what is the core value proposition and make sure that these revenues align with that. Otherwise, what you're really doing is creating a second umbrella. And that is where we start to get unfocused and confused. So I'm going to use myself as an example because I know my business better than anybody. And my revenue stream umbrella, the core focus is business strategy. And if I wanted to add a little bit, it also includes personal development. So it's basically business strategy with a healthy dose of personal development. That's really what I do. Now, of course, I have a brand called the Superstar Activator, and I have a whole bunch of things that make my offering unique and special. But at the end of the day, what I'm doing is I'm supporting people on building and growing purpose-driven, lifestyle-friendly businesses. Okay, so I have 6 revenue streams. The first revenue stream is speaking. The second revenue stream is group coaching. Another revenue stream is consulting. Another is retreats, which are small events. I also have a revenue stream that is made up of products. These are digital products and virtual programs. And finally, I have affiliate relationships. I'll call them JVs and partnerships, joint ventures. So these are my 6 core revenue streams, right? So what's really cool about these revenue streams is how they relate to each other. So what I realized, what I had an aha moment about, and what I encourage you to do, is that there's one thing here that drives everything else. And as long as I focus on this one thing, it leads to everything else. So when I speak in front of audiences, generally, as soon as I'm done speaking, there are people that are interested in working with me. Or there are people that are interested in coming to one of our retreats. When I speak, sometimes I get opportunities to consult on the back end, or to sell my products, or to develop new affiliate relationships. Now, I could go around really focusing on sourcing each and every one of these, but what I've found is there's one piece of this model that drives everything else. And that's what I want you to consider. As you're looking for new revenue streams, think about, is there something you can use to drive a new offer to the same audience, right? Because that way you already know this audience, they already know, like, and trust you. And if you can offer a new thing to them, then you can diversify your revenue streams. And here's something that you'll hear me talk about over and over and over and over. And that's, can you create a revenue stream that's monthly recurring revenue? Monthly recurring revenue is the holy grail of a lifestyle-friendly business. Why? Because it gives you consistent revenues and it helps you avoid the roller coaster revenues. So as you're considering adding revenue streams to the mix, consider what could you sell that offers value over time. So I want to highlight one other thing in my model so you can see what this looks like. So I have this group coaching program, and it's a 1-year program. And so I call that, the group coaching program, I call that my big back end. And actually, I also have a bigger back end, which is once people graduate from this 1-year program, we have a program that's a year 2-3 program. So we actually offer a 2-year version of our program. Why? Monthly recurring revenue, more stability and more consistency. So this group coaching, now here's another cool thing about the way these revenue streams are interacting, right? So I speak on stages, and generally we invite people first to come to this retreat, which we now call our foundational program. And from the retreat, they can sign up from the big back end. We don't sell this from a speaking engagement. We don't sell this from any other thing that we do. We sell this from retreat. So we've built a little funnel where all roads, like all the speaking engagements and everything, lead to a retreat. And from the retreat, they lead to our big back end. And from our big back end, they lead to our bigger back end. Is this making sense? So I share all this with you because for me, this was a huge breakthrough in my business model. I was looking for new streams of revenue, and once I realized that all roads could lead to this big back end, my business finally got the stability that I was looking for. I could have added another big back end of a product that I needed to sell over and over and over, and I've done that many times. But when I introduced this piece, and this piece into my model, my business flourished. It took off. In 14 months, it had quadrupled in size after me being in business for 7.5 years. And I wasn't doing badly by any means, but introducing this was a game changer. Okay, so there's a second way that you can diversify, still related to this model. And that is, instead of introducing a new offering to the same audience, it's about introducing an old offer, an offer that you're already doing, to a different audience. So what that looks like is doing some market research and identifying, are there other people out there? Are there other markets? Are there other niche markets, industries, and focused areas where they could use the same thing that I'm already doing for this specific market? So that's another way to look for diversified revenue streams. The only difference is that if you want to use the same marketing strategy, it's going to be harder to do because you have to market with a new message if you're marketing to a new market. That's why I love starting with your existing market and seeing if you can make new offers to that market, offers that have monthly recurring revenue and a big back end. And then the third way you could do it is to create a whole new offer to a whole new market. Now, that's my least favorite approach. And I would say it works, it can work, obviously. And I would prefer if you did that once you've explored these other two options first. So I hope that was helpful for you. I certainly enjoyed sharing it. So if you're curious about how you can build and grow your purpose-driven, lifestyle-friendly business, then go ahead and download my free guide, Monetize Your Magic Playbook. You can get that by clicking on the link below. I know that it's a game changer and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.